Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this Hatha flow class. We're going to be focusing on the Ashtanga primary series, going back to the basics, taking some time in between postures to let them kind of sink in. It's the time of the year where we start transitioning to another season, into fall, which is where we're coming back down to the earth, the completion of the cycle of the seasons, the fullness of summer is now fading as we allow ourselves to drop in, drop down, and release. So going back to those basic postures can be comforting in these times of changes, and it provides a well-rounded practice as well. So we'll begin at the top of the mat for Sun Salutation A. Bring the palms together at heart center. Stand up as straight as you can, dropping the tailbone towards the earth. Lengthening through the spine. Relax the shoulders down the back. One micro tilt of the chin down, lengthening through. Back of the neck. Lifting through the crown. Feeling strong and stable. Grounded through the feet. Begin to come into your breath here. Filling up through the lungs. Chest cavity expands, the belly expands. And exhaling, belly first, and the chest and the lungs. And repeating this cycle in your own breath rhythm. In and out through the nose. Each inhale, drawing your awareness through the skin, through the bones, deep within yourself. Gathering that energy up through earth. And as you exhale, feeling it cycle throughout the body, exiting through the nostrils. Releasing the awareness of everything off your mat. Spend another moment here. Your next exhale, press out as much air as you can. Taking a full breath in, filling all the way up, preparing for Om. Feel free to just listen or participate. So inhaling. Open the eyes, release the palms. Wiggle the toes and spread the feet wide again on the mat. Feet about hips width distance apart, arms at your side for mountain pose. On an inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, gentle forward fold, straight back, bending the knees, reaching towards the earth. Head drops. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step the feet back, lower to your knees, and take a few rounds of cat and cow. Continuing to tune into your breath, letting that guide your rhythm, letting that guide your movements. In times of change and uncertainty, it's helpful to come back when we feel those moments of overwhelm to the breath, coming back to the breath. Feeling fully alive. And even though we are caught in this cycle of inhale and exhale, filling up and emptying out, our yoga practice, any spiritual practices that go along with it or in addition to it, can help us rise above the duality, back and forth, up and down, summer, fall, spring, winter. Rising above that through our practice. A few more rounds of cat and cow. And then tuck the toes. And sit the hips back. Walking the hands forward, stretching out. Feet curl into the spine, back into your tabletop. Walk the knees back and lower down to your belly for cobra pose. Hands next to your chest, elbows in. Inhale, lift the heart. Next stays neutral, so looking straight down. Exhale, lower the forehead to the mat. Inhale, press it back and up to child's pose, sending the hips over the heels, arms outstretched towards the top, forehead to the mat. And inhaling, lifting up onto your knees, tuck the toes again. This time, exhaling into downward facing dog. Taking your time to warm up however you feel called to by your body this morning. Walking the dog. Maybe a big cleansing breath in and out. And finding some stillness. Spread the fingertips wide. Press the chest towards your thighs as you lift up through the sitting bones. Feel the heels become heavy and the head become light. Inhale up between your hands and make your way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Press the shoulders away from the ears as you straighten through the spine. On the exhale, stay where you're at, and then inhale up with a straight back, arms up. Bring the palms together at the top, exhale and down through heart center. Take a round of breath here. And on your exhale, release the hands to your side, mountain pose. Re-engage the feet and the legs, feeling strong in the lower body. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. And then exhale, plant your hands, step the feet back, lower the knees. Lower the chest between your hands and then lower the chin. Like a little inchworm, squeezing the elbows in. And then on an inhale, pull through to your cobra pose, relaxing the shoulders down the back, tops of the feet, pressing into the mat. Stay for another breath in. Exhale, release, forehead to the mat, tuck the toes, press it up and back to your downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Continue to deepen your inhales every round. Extending the exhales a couple seconds longer if you can. Being gentle with your practice. Look between the hands, make your way to the top of the mat for a forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, halfway lift, straight back, gaze down. Exhale, release the head, folding back down. And this time, inhale, we're going to curl to stand. So rolling the spine, slow motion. Head and neck are the last to come up. Bring the palms together. Gaze down at your fingertips. And breathe here. Full exhale out. Full inhale. Breathe in as much as you can. Take a full breath. Open mouth, exhale. Release the hands. One more round of sun A. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. Lower to your knees if you need. And then lower through knees, chest, chin, or through chaturanga. Inhale to cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Dial back into the sound of your breath. Imagining you can feel the sensation of fresh air filling up every inch of your body. From the lungs out to your arms and your legs, all the way down to your fingertips and your toes. Filling up each side body, the inner lines of your legs, the inner arms. Between your hands, make your way to the top of the mat for forward fold. To inhale, halfway lift. To exhale, releasing down. To inhale, rise. Arms up overhead, palms together at the top. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, prayer, hands at heart center. Drop the gaze. Inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale to chair, knees bend, arms rise, look up. Slight tuck of the tailbone, broaden through the collarbones. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back, plank or lower to your knees. Cobra up dog on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, warrior one. Lifting up, tilting the right hip back and the left hip forward, shoulders squared towards the top of the mat. Breath in, reach up, ground down. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step the right foot back. Lower through, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Cobra up dog on your inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward for warrior one on the other side. Root to rise, inhale. Square your hips and your shoulders towards the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step the left foot back. Lower through again. We'll meet in downward facing dog for 5 rounds of breath. Spread the hands and the feet inward. Keeping activity in this pose. Keeping the head and the neck relaxed as you gaze back between your knees or maybe at your feet. Shoulders plugged into their sockets. Heels reaching towards the earth. On an inhale, look between your hands. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale to chair, knees bend, look up, reach up. Exhale to stand, mountain pose. Take one more round of that sun salutation B. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Let your exhale gently float you down. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, lower through. Cobra up dog on the inhale. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward. We're going to do warrior two this time. Spin the back left heel down. Inhale, reach the arms up and blossom them open as you sink into your lunge. Press the hips open towards the left side of the mat. Reach out with the arms. Hugging the energy up and in. Active through the legs. On an exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame your front foot. Step the right foot back, lower through. Inhale, heart opener. Exhale, downward facing dog. Warrior two on the other side. Step the left foot forward, right heel spins down. Inhale, reach up, open through the arms. Sink in. Gaze over your front fingertips. Broaden through the collarbone, but hug the ribs in. One more breath in here. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame the front foot. Step back, lower through, or you can just meet us in downward facing dog. For 5 breaths. Keep lifting up through the hips. As you find a straight spine. If you need to adjust your stance, walking the hands forward or back towards your feet a little. Your final inhale, look between your hands. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale to chair. Sweep the arms up as you drop your hips back. Try to keep your knees over your heels. So maybe you stand a little higher. Tailbone tilts down. Arms, shoulders relaxed. Inhale to stand. Reach the arms up, palms together. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. And here we'll breathe for a few rounds of breath. Staying tuned in. Letting the recoil of those active warm-ups float through the body. Inhale, lift the gaze. Release the hands. Step your feet about hips width distance apart. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift through the heart. Drop the shoulders, look up slightly. Exhale, forward fold. Grab your big toes with your first two fingers, creating like a peace sign. Inhale, halfway lift, bend your knees as much as you need. And then exhale, bring your chest towards your knees, drop the head. Release into your forward fold. Let the head hang weightless. With each inhale, finding a little bit more length and space in the backbone. With each exhale, allowing your head to drop a little lower. Maybe a little length more in the back of the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release the toes, bring your hands to your hips, come up with a straight back. Bring the palms to heart center, gaze down the fingertips. Breathe. Focus. On your next inhale, take a deep one. On your exhale, breathe through open mouth, release the hands. Step towards the top of the mat. Palms facing the front. Step the right foot to the back of the mat for triangle pose. Turn to face the right side, finding like a 5-pointed star. And then turn towards the back of the mat to face your right toes. Arms out at a T. Inhale, reach forward with the fingertips, hinging at the hips, and then drop that right hand toward the inside of the right leg. You can also use blocks here if you can't quite get down too far. You can also put a little bend in your knee. Reach the left arm up, pull the right hip back, spin the torso up and open as you gaze up towards your left fingertips. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Settle in, find stillness and focus. Press down to the inner parts of the feet, the outer edges of the feet, lifting up through the arches. Inhale, come back up to stand, finding your 5-pointed star, and then turn to face the top of the mat, the left toes for triangle on the other side. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale, reaching forward. Tilt the left hand down the inside of the leg. Micro bend or deep bend into your knee as you need. Right arm comes up. Adjust your stance as you need. Spinning the heart open, pulling that left hip back, right hip forward. Trying to stay straight through the spine here. 3 breaths. Finding some lift. Still grounding down through the feet. Last exhale. Inhale to stand, coming to that 5-pointed star. And then turn toward face the back of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips and square the hips towards the top of the mat. So the left hip kind of pulls forward, right hip pulls back. We're going to take revolve side angle lunge. So inhale the left arm up, bending into that front knee. Exhale, reach forward and plant the left hand on the outside of the right foot. Again, you can use a block here. You can also rest your elbow on your knee if you need. And once you're there, reaching the right arm up. You might need to come up a lot here. Deep twist, so be gentle. Breathing into that right side, right glute, outer right hip. 1 more breath in here. And then inhale to stand, bringing the arms up. Sink into a lunge. Stay for the exhale. Inhale back to your 5-pointed star, facing the left side of the mat. And then we'll turn to face the top of the mat for the other side. So square your hips towards the top of the mat, reach the arms up. Left hand comes to your left hip. Bending into that front knee, bring that left or the right elbow to your left knee, or your right hand all the way to the inside or the outside of the left arm, twisting. So we're twisting in towards our left knee. Reach the left arm up when you've got it. Adjust through your breath as you need, but eventually find that place of stillness. And when you're there, 3 rounds of breath. Staying with yourself through the challenge, believing in yourself, if nothing but the breath. You've got it. Inhale, come up to stand, arms up, lunge. Inhale back to that 5-pointed star facing the right side of the mat. And step towards the top, bring the palms together, heart center. Take a moment. Coming back to your body on the mat, releasing all expectations of that posture, maybe through your sweat, maybe through an open mouth exhale. Maybe closing the eyes to gain more inward focus. Take a full inhale, open mouth exhale. Release the hands. And again, stepping the right foot to the back of the mat, turn to face the right side of the mat for a wide-legged forward fold. So adjust your stance as you need, hands on your hips. Slight tuck of the tailbone, lengthen through the spine, relax the shoulders. And then clasp your hands behind your low back. Keep a little buoyancy in the knees. Draw the shoulders down, lifting the heart. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, wide-legged forward fold. Fists come up overhead, maybe. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Shift the weight forward onto the balls of your feet as you press your sitting bones back, and then lower the heart between the legs. Maybe your arms come up overhead. Slight little bend in the elbows so we're not locking out our arms. 3 breaths here once you find your still, quiet spot. Inhale, press into the feet, maybe slight bend in the knees to come up halfway. Release the arms, swing them to your hips, come up all the way. Turn to face the back of the mat, again, squaring the hips. So our right foot is in front. And take pyramid pose here. So hands on the hips. Left hip pulls forward, right hip pulls back. Reaching forward, and again, you can bend into your right knee if you need. But we're just gonna slightly hinge over that right leg, keeping the hands on the waist. Keep pulling the left side down, tucking the belly button in, reaching the heart forward, gaze is at your big toe. Breathing down that right leg. Pressing down through all edges of the feet. And then inhale, gently coming up. And we're just going to pivot on the feet right to the top of the mat so the left foot is facing forward, taking pyramid on the other side. Left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forward, squaring the hips towards the top of the mat. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, hinging at the hips, folding over that left leg. Just as you need. Be kind with yourself if maybe this side you can't quite go as far down. Be humble with yourself if you've got a lot more length on this side. Gentle reminder to not just you, but me, of moving not with the ego, but with the breath, letting the body guide. Press down to the feet, inhale to lift up. Turn to face the right side of the mat, reach the arms up, 5-pointed star, press down into the mat, reach out with the arms, and then step towards the top of the mat. Palms together, Anjali Mudra, drop the gaze, and just breathe. Full exhale out. Inhale, lift the gaze, release the hands. From here, we're going to move to a one-legged mountain pose. So shift the weight to your left foot and inhale, reach that right knee up. Bring your hands to your hips. Stay here. And if you'd like, begin to Extend the heel out, pressing out through the heel until your leg becomes somewhat straight. Drop that right hip though, so we're not yanking the right hip up. Keeping the pelvis somewhat level. Point the toes, flex the foot. Point and flex. And then from here, coming to our standing figure four. So bring that right ankle over the left knee. You can help yourself out here, grabbing the leg and gently pulling that left heel up into the hip crease. Bring the palms together at heart center, or you can keep them on your waist if that feels more grounding for you. Once you've reached your shape, begin to bend into the knee, find like a chair pose, a chair-like pose. Again, hinging at the hip, back stays straight, heart stays lifted. Tuck the chin. And breathe here. Firmly rooting down through that left foot. Soften the gaze. Give yourself grace to fall out and get back in. If this is too much on your knee, you can always lower that foot closer to the knee. Or skip this posture altogether if it's not working for you. We'll catch back up next. Take them up, press into that feet, reaching up through the spine. Bring that right knee with you. Exhale, lower the right foot. Lower the arms. And bring your hands to your hips and we'll switch sides. Shift the weight to your right foot. Begin to lift up through that left knee, finding your one-legged mountain. Level the pelvis and begin to extend that left leg out straight. Point the toes and flex the foot. Taking a few rounds of that. Point and flex. Keeping that left hip level. And when you're ready, drawing that left ankle up, maybe into the hip crease, maybe at the top of the thigh, maybe towards the knee, wherever it reaches. And then begin to shift the hips back, keeping the weight centered over that right leg, balancing on the right foot, keeping the back straight, finding our figure four. Palms together at heart center, or wherever you feel most secure. And don't forget to tune into that breath when it gets tough. Breathe through the shaking. Breathe into the challenge. Accept it with the inhale. Release it on the exhale. Press down to the foot to inhale, coming back up. Bring the left knee up with you. Exhale, release the foot to the earth. Release the hands. Begin to bend into one knee and then the other. Roll the shoulders. Shake it out. We gently roll the neck or drop the shoulders left and right. And then find some stillness. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. I'm going to rinse it out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step the feet back to plank, or you can lower to your knees. Exhale through chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Full and deep breaths in. Steady, slow breaths out. Look between the hands. Tiptoe, step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift when you get there on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair. Sweep the arms around and up as you drop your hips back. Keep the knees over the heels. Stand up as tall as you need here. Relax the shoulders down the back. What I like to do is clasp my hands behind my back here and roll the shoulders down and back to lift the tailbone, or lift the shoulders and the collarbone. Tailbone stays down. Hug the ribs in. When you've got that good feeling of the heart opening and the spine lengthening, release the hands, but keep the shoulders exactly where they are. Don't move the shoulders as you lift your arms back up. You may notice that your elbows have to stay at a 90-degree angle or more around here. And that's okay. This is your chair. Inhale to stand, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to your side. And breathe here. Let it cycle through. Let the breath rebound throughout your body. Notice the sensations and sweet release from that posture. On the inhale, shift the weight to the right foot. Begin to lift that left knee, finding your one-legged mountain. And exhale, send that left leg back. We're going to step back to warrior two. So plant the left foot, open the arms. Sink into your posture, opening through the hips, opening through the shoulders, hugging the ribs in. Pulling that energy up and in through the legs. Releasing energy you don't need out through the fingertips. Look over your front right fingertips. Reach forward, flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Stay for a breath. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame the front foot. Step towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale with a straight back, come up to stand, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Shift the weight to the left foot, inhale the right knee up. Exhale, gently tilt forward as you step that right foot back for warrior two. On the other side, same thing. Grounding down, sinking into that knee, into that lunge. Open through the hips, open through the shoulders. Chest. Look over the front fingertips. Send that energy out as if you could see sparks flying out through your fingertips, forward and back. Ground down. Begin to reach forward, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Stay for the exhale. Expand into the left side body on the inhale, and come back to your warrior two. Cartwheel your hands to frame your front foot. Step the left foot back, lower through it if you'd like. Otherwise, we'll meet in downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Full exhale on your second breath out. Unlift between your hands. We're going to come to a seat, so walk feet through. Lower onto your bum and set up for staff pose. So legs extended out long in front of you. If you'd like, you can roll your mat up or sit on a blanket to lift your hips, make this pose a little more accessible, a little bit more comfortable for you. Drawing the hands back in line with the body, palms pressing down into the mat. Lift up out of your pelvis. Look straight ahead. And wrap the inner thighs down. Toes pull back towards your face. Begin to tuck the chin. Breathing here. On your exhale, release. Scoop the arms up overhead for a forward fold, hinging at the hips. So lift up from the ribs and then pulling the heart forward, keeping the low back straight. Reach, 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 reach. Drop your hands. Shrug the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, melt the heart forward. You can begin to allow the upper back to curl as you drop your head. Inhaling, lengthening through the low back. Exhaling, dropping the head and the chest a little lower. Continue to keep the legs active here. Swing the inner legs down, back towards your hips. Full breath in, open mouth, exhale. Release a little lower. And then inhale, look up, lift the chest, and begin to sit back up. Remove your prop or unwind your mat. from behind you if you took that variation. Walk your hands back behind you, fingertips facing your hips. And pointing your toes, flexing the feet back. Point and flex. One more time, pointing the toes, engaging the legs. Inhale, flexing, pressing out through the heels. And then bring your feet flat onto the mat, slight bend in the knees. We're going to lift up into reverse plank. If this is too much, you can also take reverse tabletop by walking the feet closer in towards your hips. It's a pretty challenging posture, so just breathe into it, give it a little try. And you can always modify if you need. Press the feet into the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Engage the belly by pressing the belly button towards the low back. Inhale, lift the hips off the mat. Walk the feet back so maybe they're flat on the earth. Squeezing the legs in, looking up and back. You've got this. Press the fingertips into the mat. Press the thumb and the forefinger. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the hips towards the mat. Extend the legs long. Sitting back up into that staff pose for just a breath. Exhale, let it go. Bring the sole of the right foot into the left thigh. And inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, drop that left arm towards the left foot. Maybe you can grab your toes with your two-piece fingers. Inhale, reach that right arm up. Maybe it comes over, sweeping down and around as you gently spin your heart towards your knee. Keep inhaling, finally length through that right side body, reaching the right side over that leg. Pulling the left hip back so you can snuggle the right side down further. And if you don't have your foot, hanging on to whatever you can grab. Find some stillness and breathe. Release the head and the neck down. Each inhale is finding length. Each exhale is finding release. Letting go. Dropping down. Final breath out. And inhale to release, coming back up. And we'll gently switch sides. Extend the right leg long. Bring the sole of the left foot into the inner right thigh. Arms sweep up overhead. And then drop that right arm down the right leg, reaching for the toe or the foot, ankle, knee, whatever you've got. And then looking up over that left hand, reach up, find some space in that side body. Exhale, lower that left hand as you spin your heart towards your knee. Grabbing onto your leg or your foot. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, pull that right hip back as you gently snuggle the left side of the chest over the leg. Continue to draw your awareness back to your breath. Find your moment of Zen here, whether this posture is a favorite or your arch nemesis, somewhere in between. Find that balance where the intensity meets the release. And then use that space between the inhale and the exhale to rise above that duality. We exist beyond the extremes. We exist beyond pleasure and pain. Exhale to inhale, release. Coming up slowly, taking a breath here. And extending both legs long out in front of you. Bring the right foot in. And then we're going to reach the arms up overhead. Begin to twist towards the right. Hook that left arm around that right knee. Plant the right hand behind you. Inhale, lifting up through the heart, lifting up through the spine. Exhale, look over your back right shoulder. If you'd like, you can begin to bend into that left knee so the right leg comes next to your right hip. For a variation of sage pose. Lengthen on the inhale. Twist deeper on the exhale if that feels good. Let the pose be. At some point, just enjoy where you're at. Final inhale. Releasing exhale as you gently come back to the center. Extend that left leg long and switch sides. Right leg lengthens, left foot tucks in. Inhale, reach the arms up, sitting up on your sitting bones. Exhale, twist towards the left. Bring that right arm to hook around the left knee. And prop yourself up with your left fingertips behind your low back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Maybe you bend the right knee to draw the right foot, snuggling it in towards your left hip. Maybe not. If you didn't do it on the other side, just mimic the pose, whichever way you ended up. Finding space and length, grounding down through the sitting bones, lengthening up through the spine on the inhale. Exhale, twist. Gently gazing over your left shoulder. And then embracing what your asana here looks like. Just breathe. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. Final big inhale. Exhale to release, coming back forward. Extending the legs long. Roll the shoulders. And bending through the knees, bringing the feet close in for boat pose. And again, you can start, as we usually do in boat, holding behind the knees and between the knees and the hamstrings and tilting back onto the tailbone. Keep the low back straight. So if you notice you're curling down, tuck your heels down back onto the mat. Press the chest towards the knees. Open through the collarbone, then maybe tilt back again. Eventually playing around with straightening the legs and or releasing the arms, palms up. Hug everything in. There's the spinning energy, pressing the chest towards the thighs. Finding a little bit of downward facing dog here. You've got it. One more breath in. Cross the ankles. Exhale. Come to tabletop. Lower through to your belly for cobra pose. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, press up and back. Downward facing dog. And then look between your hands. Walk your feet through your hands, lower back onto your hips. We're going to take one more boat pose. Set yourself up. Tilt back. Find some lift. As about just floating off the tailbone, off the sitting bones. Despite the raging waters of the abs, of your mind, wherever your challenge is here, cross the ankles, reach forward, plant your hands, step the feet back, lower through your cobra. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Big breath in. Full breath out. Lower the knees to the mat. Take a child's pose. Shifting the hips over the heels. Walk the fingertips forward. Big exhale out. If you'd like, you can take a stretch here. Side body. Maybe widening the knees if you prefer. Maybe bringing the arms back towards your heels. We'll be here for 3 more rounds of breath. When you're ready, gently press up yourself up to sit. back on your hips and extend the legs wide for a wide-legged seated forward fold. Again, you can prop your hips up here with rolling up the mat or a blanket. Relax the shoulders. Reach the arms up overhead, keeping the shoulders down and relaxed. And then exhale, bring the heart through. Lower the hands. Keeping the back somewhat straight. Pull the shoulders back in their socket. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. And then exhale, allow the spine to curl. Walking the hands forward as you drop your gaze. Drop your head and your neck. You can play around with widening your feet a little more. You want to get a little bit deeper. Walking them in closer together. If you want to keep it a little bit more light. Three more breaths here. Maybe a gentle yes and no with the head. Releasing the neck. Now with your inhale, straighten the spine as you look up. Walk the hands back, sitting up with a straight back. Draw the feet together. Walk yourself to the middle of the mat. And then finally make your way to your back. Draw the right knee in, extend the left leg long for wind removing pose. Hugging the right knee in, squeezing in. And then grabbing either behind the knee or onto your foot or your toe. Lengthen out through that leg. You can also keep the knee bent. That's just fun. We're going to open the leg towards the right. So if you can, straighten your leg. You can play around with that. Otherwise, keep the knee bent and just open the hip towards the right. Inhale back up to center. Squeeze it in. And then release. We'll switch sides. Tuck the left knee in. Wrap the left arm around it to squeeze it down towards your armpit. Press out through the right heel as you do this. And then either taking behind the knee or grabbing the big toe, the shin, the ankle, whatever you've got. Opening through the left side. Lengthening out through the leg if you can. Breathing through that right leg, the left leg. Inhale back to center. Tuck it in, squeeze it in one last time. Exhale, release. We'll take two bridge poses. Walk the heels in. Feet or hips width distance apart. Forearms to the mat. And when you're ready, lifting the hips off the mat. Rolling onto the shoulder blades. Maybe clasping the fingertips. Walking the shoulder blades together. So forearms are underneath you, finding a little bit more of a lift. Keep the butt relaxed and the legs engaged. Squeezing an imaginary block between your thighs. Gaze straight ahead. Keeping some space and some length in the neck. Slight tuck of the chin. See the belly expand. Feel the lungs press open to either side. And release the hands. Slowly roll down the spine between the shoulder blades, the mid-back, the low back, like a zipper rolling down. Take a big breath in and an open mouth exhale. And we'll take that bridge pose one more time. As you're ready. Setting yourself up. Lifting from the belly button. Feeling the heart space crack open. Being open to new possibilities of a new season, a new opportunity. Take 2 more rounds of breath in your bridge. Release the hands on the exhale, zipper the spine down. Don't take any movements here, just let that sink in. Be still. Allow the breath to move through. Pay attention to the sensations of the body. after those bridge poses. From here, we're going to take shoulder stand. If you're new to this posture, feel free to listen and watch the cues first. This is where you'll need your blanket. We're going to put it back behind where you're going to lower your back onto. So your neck and your head are going to be on the mat behind the blanket. Your shoulders and upper back are going to be on the blanket here, just to make it a little bit more comfortable and safe for our neck. So lowering down, wiggle your blanket or your body into your spot. And I'm going to roll my blanket up a little bit more to get a little bit higher here. Take your time setting up for this posture. And if you know this isn't for you, feel free to take another bridge pose, or maybe a heart bench, or a fish pose, or you can just lay on your mat too. So shoulders are up against the edge of the mat. The head is resting on the mat behind the blanket. And just like setting up for bridge pose, our feet are going to be about hips width distance apart. Arms going to be lowered onto the mat, forearms down, palms down. Begin to tuck the knees in towards your chest. So that hugging in action active here. And then we're going to lengthen through the legs, begin to lift up. So lifting up the low back off the mat and bringing your hands to your low back. Wiggle the shoulder blades in. And it might take a few rounds here. Maybe it's not working for you today, if you're like me. So just lengthening up here. We can also try lifting up into bridge pose first if you don't quite have the core strength. Bringing your hands to your low back and then tucking your knees in and coming up this way. Got your legs extended up overhead. Hang out there. I'm going to play around a little bit more. Keep the neck straight. Lengthen the legs up. Keep the forearms on your mat or on your blanket, wherever they ended up landing, depending on how you folded your blanket. Keep lengthening up through the spine. Toes reaching up. Tucking the belly in. Trying to breathe calmly. To exit, drop the feet overhead, finding plow pose. Releasing the hands towards the mat. Curling into a ball and then gently rolling the spine down. Use your forearms to gently release. Extend the legs long. Breathe a full breath in, a full breath out. Just let that wash over you for a moment. Remove the blanket from underneath you. We'll take fish pose from here. You can either bend your knees or keep the legs lengthened here. Bring your hands with the palms down underneath your hips. Wiggle the shoulders underneath you, lifting through the heart. And then press into the forearms and the mat to come up onto the top of your head, but we're barely putting any weight there. Breathing here. If you'd like, you can extend the legs long. Slight tug of the pelvis so that you're not hurting the low back. If you have any negative sensations. Opening the throat. Lifting to the heart. Full breath in and out slowly. And fish pose is named in honor of one of the avatars of Shiva, who's one of those three main gods. Shiva is the destroyer, the recreator of new worlds. appropriate for this season. Coming back to the earth, letting go of summer, moving into fall. Embracing that energy of letting things fall apart so new life can be rebuilt. Pressing the forearms to release, gently lowering the upper back to the mat. Lowering all the way down to your back. Taking a moment to just be in the reverberations of that posture. Take a full inhale, sipping in as much air as you can, filling all the way up until you feel like you're about to explode. Hold it for just 3, 2, 1 more second. Slow, controlled exhale. Let your body resume the natural breath cycle, releasing your awareness of it. Begin to find a comfortable Shavasana posture. Maybe you want to spread the arms wide and the legs wide. Begin to relax every inch of you, taking a body scan from the toes to the ankles and the legs, up through the torso and the arms, chest, neck and head. Begin to find complete rest. Allowing yourself to feel so grounded and supported in connection directly with the earth as the back body melts into the ground beneath you. All the while the front body expanded and open towards the earth, towards the sky, the earth above. Allowing yourself to hang, this floating duality of groundedness, floating. Face down, face up. And as you allow yourself to drift, use that as a reminder that we can become absorbed to the greater spirit, the greater consciousness, beyond the confines of seasons and mind's wanderings. Deep in the breath. Bringing awareness back inward. Sensation in your body and the earth. Some small movements, fingers, the toes, the wrists, ankles, the elbows, and the knees. As you're ready, gently roll to one side, curl into yourself, almost spend half a minute or so curled in fetal position, supporting your head with your arms. in deep. Exhale slow. And then gently begin to press yourself up to a comfortable seat in the center of the mat. Keeping the eyes closed or softly gazing downward. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and exhale and down towards the back. Bring the palms together at heart center. Close out our practice today with one Om. Again, you're welcome to join or just receive. Either way, let's take exhale together. Inhale to Om. Just let that reverberate throughout your body. Gently think open the eyes, release the palms. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drink some water. And as always, I'm honored to share this practice with you. Thank you for choosing to practice with me. And I'll see you next time on the Ritual Mat.